So during the net neutrality fight, the comment period for comments favoring or opposing net neutrality from regular people ran into some issues. There was a lot of issues about spam and fraudulent accounts and industry, backed bots coming in and basically posting the same script or the same segments from the scripts that basically showed or wanted to show that a majority of people are actually against net neutrality protections. Well, it turns out that entire process was fraudulent, and a new study has come out recently that shows that of the comments that were real, that were unique and from regular people, a vast, vast majority of them are actually from people who agree with net neutrality. In fact, a new report from Stanford University shows that most of these commenters were actually very knowledgeable about net neutrality and were in favor of keeping net neutrality. Now, after removing old duplicate and fake comments filed with the Federal Communications Commission last year, Stanford researcher has found that 99.7% of all public comments, that is about 800,000 in all, were actually pro-net neutrality. 99.7. That is 0.03% that were not in favor of net neutrality. That is overwhelming. That is nearly 1 million comments. Now, Ryan Stingel, who is a media and strategy fellow at Stanford University, wrote this in a blog post. Quote, with the fog of fraud and spam lifted from the comment corpus, lawmakers and their staff, journalists, interested citizens, and policymakers can use these reports to better understand what Americans actually said about the repeal of net neutrality protections and why 800,000 Americans went further than just signing a petition for a redress of grievances by actually putting their concerns in their own words. So that's important. That's what makes it unique, right? So the fact that this got 800,000 unique comments where people weren't just like, sign petition, which is a form letter that they send out. Here, sign this, put your name on this. It's already pre-filled out for you. No, these are people that were like, no, that's not good enough for me. No, I'm going to put this in my own words. I'm going to say, okay, here's what I think about net neutrality. Here's what I think about your bullshit efforts to repeal net neutrality in my own words. That's amazing. That shows that there are so many people out there, nearly 1 million people out there that care so much about this issue, that were galvanized, that did that. And it was unfortunately buried by all the spam and the fraud and the bots. Now look, there are a significant amount of comments that were also pre-form letters, right, that are petitions that are perfectly valid, right? And that shows that even a larger amount of the American people said, hey, you know what? I care about this issue. I care about net neutrality. I may not need to put it in my own words, or I don't want to put it in my own words, or maybe I'm really busy and all that. But I do care about this issue, and I don't want to repeal net neutrality. So that's significant as well. Now, Stingel had released a report on Monday that analyzed the unique comments, as in they weren't copy-pasted of one or dozens of other letters filed last year ahead of the FCC's decision. Now, 22 million comments were actually filed, right? Now, 21 million comments were either fake, bots, or organized campaigns. And I'm assuming that a large majority are actually organized campaigns. So from a lot of progressive groups that were pro-net neutrality. Now, in fact, the report says, this is not to say that all non-unique comments filed to the FCC via online campaigns are fake. However, since many commenters used form letters to share their support for net neutrality, however, due to the large amount of noise created by fake comments, it remains very difficult to locate the real signals in the non-unique comments. So, okay. Now, So here's the thing. This comment period was a bit of a shit show. Okay. There were, again, millions of fake comments sent in by bots under phony names, stolen identities, and even names of dead people. They were not pro-net neutrality. They were anti-net neutrality. Now, this, of course, led to a lot of lawsuits, including one by 23 state attorneys general. Despite acknowledging the failures, the FCC refused to investigate or consider the comments at all. Though a judge did recently rule that the agency must release records related to the phony comments to the public. Now, with the help of his colleague, Jeff Cow, Single used machine learning models to identify more than 800,000 unique comments and analyze them, showing that commenters were firmly against repealing the rules. And these commenters spanned the country geographically and politically. Singal found that while there were more comments on average from House districts represented by Democrats, a substantial number of unique comments were filed in Republican districts. The report reads, the average number of comments filed in each district was 1,489, with the Republican districts having an average of 1,202. So, look, here's the thing. Now, Republicans, look, you go down to polls, majorities of Republicans were like, wait, these net neutrality rules, this isn't big government. This isn't big government censorship. It's not big government controlling the internet. This is basically setting a baseline of rules that everybody has to follow to keep things equal, to make sure that businesses can compete online with gigantic telecommunications corporations. Net neutrality is actually better for small business. Now, that's an incredibly conservative thing. These net neutrality rules, this is not some progressive idea. This is an idea shared by both progressives and conservatives where we can agree that, hey, all content should be treated equally and not be blocked or throttled. This is not a political idea. This should not be a political battle. This is a battle of consumers versus giant corporations who basically want to play gatekeepers, or more accurately, highwaymen, extracting as much profit as they can from the information superhighway. Again, the polls show a lot of conservatives were like, yes, we agree with net neutrality. Now, it also found that unique commenters had a more nuanced understanding of net neutrality law than lawmakers may have assumed. Now, look, here's the thing about that. Lawmakers, when it comes to technology issues, are really dumb. Like, they don't know. Just go to the Zuckerberg hearings, and you'll understand how out of touch these politicians actually are, how ancient they are. Most of them probably don't even use their own email. They probably have staffers do it, or staffers doing their Twitter. They don't understand the technology. And so they assume that everybody else doesn't understand the technology. But a lot of people do. And the people that understand this technology understand that net neutrality is essential. It is the way the internet was created to function. And now we're no longer under those rules. And so we've already seen these companies setting up fast lanes, which they're going to charge more. Hey, man, if you want faster internet, we're going to first slow you down. We're going to throttle you. And then we're going to open up this fast lane that costs extra money so that we can extract more profit, because there's nothing stopping us anymore except for public outrage. And believe me, as soon as they start doing it, public outrage is going to consume them. There's going to be a wall of angry people. I was going to say a firewall, but I don't know. It just didn't seem right. But look, here's the other thing, right? Now, not only, again, are the massive amount of people, both Republicans and conservatives, against it, but this may factor into the midterms as well. The report suggested that net neutrality could play a role in the midterms, with many of these so-called toss-up states having significant representation from pro-net neutrality commenters. For example, California's 45th district, currently held by Republican Representative Mimi Walters. Now, Mimi Walters is now in a very tight race. In that district, a report found that 2,300 unique comments filed, the majority of which were opposed to repealing net neutrality. So here's an issue to run on Democrats. Net neutrality. Vote us into office, and we will do a resolution of disapproval when it comes to net neutrality. So, and basically, I think we're beyond the time for that now, for the Congressional Review Act. But if there's still time, you can do it. If not, at least taking back the Senate, and then eventually taking back the House, and then the presidency, they're going to be able to put on a new commissioner to the FCC that is going to be pro-net neutrality and is going to reinstate the rules. Other than that, when you're looking at state races, California just filed their own, they passed their own net neutrality rules. So in a lot of these state and local elections, well, these elections matter. So Democrats, if you're running in a state and local election, net neutrality, run on that, and then you can actually pass a net neutrality law in your state. So this is a good campaign issue, whether you're looking at national elections or whether you're looking at local elections. And so either way, I think the people are going to win out, and there will eventually be a reckoning on net neutrality, and we will get net neutrality back. But it's going to take a lot of work, and a lot of hard work, a lot of organizing. But I think on this issue, we can come together, we can win the day. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.